Hi guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. Tonight we're going to be making a crisp and refreshing dessert, and it's called Lemon Lush. So come along with me and let's get started. So this dessert is a 4-layer dessert, and it's popular for picnics, barbecues. It's popular in the South. It's a lemon dessert, and it's got 4 layers. And traditionally, the 3rd layer would be made with a lemon pudding, but there are no lemon puddings that are low-carb diet safe. So in that particular step, we are going to be making our own sugar-free lemon pudding or lemon curd to go in that layer. So it's not very difficult. It has an initial baked crust that only takes about 10 minutes to bake. And then the lemon curd is not super complicated, and the rest of it is just whipped and chilled. So it's fairly easy and it's very delicious. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we need to prepare for our lemon lush is the crust. There are 4 layers to this dessert. So the crust is the first layer. And we need to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. We need to lightly grease an 8x8 baking dish. And then in a small bowl, we're going to need 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts, and I'm going to set those aside. We need 3/4 cup of almond flour. We also want a couple of tablespoons of sweetener. I'm just going to be using erythritol. You can use whatever kind of sweetener you want. You really don't want the crust to be too sweet because the rest of the dish is going to be sweet. But putting a little bit of sweetener in there does help get the crust golden, which is what we're looking for. And I'm just going to work that in a little bit and get the big chunks out of our almond flour, because it can kind of tend to go into little balls of flour. Okay, and into this we are going to add about 4 tablespoons of melted butter. That's 4 tablespoons of melted butter, and we're just going to work that around until it pulls together, which it's doing nicely. So it's made a nice dough. And then we are going to go ahead and put our chopped nuts in. You could use pecans if you'd rather instead of walnuts. So I am just mixing our chopped nuts into the rest of our flour and butter mixture, just because it's easier to get a feel for where everything is going. And you don't want to overwork it too much. Just get everything together until it pulls together. And then we're going to take our baking dish, dump it out, and we're just going to start flattening this down into the bottom of our dish, trying to get it evenly across the bottom. And this is going to be almost like a shortbread cookie. And we are going to bake this for a short time, about 10 or so minutes. It's basically just to help it set up and get a bit brown. This will be the only baking step for our lemon lush. The rest of it is going to be mostly mixing and a little bit of cooking. So, got everything pressed down into the bottom of my baking dish, and we are going to go ahead and put this into a 350 degree oven, and we're going to cook it starting for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to check on it at the 10-minute mark. So here's our crust. You can see that it's just barely golden, but it is pulled together, and that's what we want. So I'm going to let it rest off the oven, off the stove, because our intention is for it to cool down. So while our crust is cooling, we are going to begin our 3rd layer. because this is the layer that is going to require a little bit of cooking. So that's why we're going to be doing it while we're waiting for our crust to cool, because the other 2 layers are just whipped up and chilled. So, in a medium-sized bowl, I'm going to take 6 tablespoons of softened butter. And this is just room temperature butter. So that's about a stick. And to that, I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup of powdered natural sweetener. I am using monk fruit erythritol blend, and that's 3/4 of a cup. And we are just going to cream our butter and our sugars together. And I try and start out fairly slow. Okay, so that just gives you the traditional butter and sugar, if you will, creamed appearance. Now, our next step is we are going to need 4 eggs, but we're only going to use 2 whole, and then we're going to use 2 yolks. So I'm going to do this one at a time and mix after each incorporation of eggs. So beginning with the 2 whole eggs. And it's not a complete day at CJ's Keto Kitchen unless you drop the yolk shells in there. Okay, now I'm just going to do the yolks. So I'm just going to separate the whites here in this bowl and just go back and forth until you get most of the white gone. So I'm going to do both of the yolks at the same time. Okay, so there's our 2 yolks. So once again, that's 2 whole eggs and then just 2 yolks. Okay, now our next step is going to be a 1/2 cup of lemon juice. And I just used real lemon. You can squeeze 100 lemons if you'd like to get that much juice. That's totally up to you. But I'm just going to use real lemon. Real lemon juice, and that's a 1/2 cup. This is going to look curdled. I have not led you astray. We are going to cook this until it forms a lemon curd or a lemon pudding-like texture. So it is going to look curdled, do not be alarmed. We are going to put this mixture into the bottom of a medium saucepan. And we are going to turn it on low at first. Make sure we get all of the ingredients out of our bowl. And you want your whisk. So we're going to turn this on to kind of a medium-low and wait for it to heat up. And our mixture will start to incorporate and it will start to smooth out, which is what we're looking for. We just need to wait for it to start to heat up. I think it is starting to smooth out. Looks like it's getting smoother. That it's smoother now, that on the medium-low heat, that was what we were going for at first, is getting it smooth. See, the chunks are gone. And now that the smoothness is there, we're going to raise the heat to medium. Because now we want a low simmer, because at this point, now that it's smooth, we are going for thickness, because we are creating a lemon curd or a lemon pudding type consistency. So it's not quite coating our spatula yet, but we're getting close. You can see that it's thickening up, which is what we want. And you definitely have to stand here stirring constantly. So this is the active part of the dessert. And we are definitely getting the thickness that we want. You can see it's getting much thicker. And it's coating our spatula. So we are good. We can remove this from the heat. I'm going to put this over on the burner next to me, and I'm going to turn my heat off. Now, in order to facilitate this getting even just a tiny bit thicker, we are going to do one more ingredient before we put this in the refrigerator to chill. I'm going to sprinkle on a half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. And I'm just going to sprinkle this evenly over the top, and I'm going to whisk it in. Trying to get it as even as possible over our dish. And I'm just going to whisk that in. And you want to make sure that you have the heat off and that you're not on the heat anymore for that step. So xanthan gum is just a naturally occurring product, and it helps your baking and thickening without adding any starch. It's a gluten-free, starch-free thing, and you only require a tiny, tiny bit. It's basically just a binding agent, and that is what we use it for in the low-carb lifestyle, is for thickening and etc. It's good in gravies and things like that, just to give us a little bit of thickness that is normally hard to come by without using some kind of cornstarch. If you can't find xanthan gum, sometimes arrowroot powder will also work in its place, but I'm able to find mine just on the shelf at Walmart, so it's getting easier and easier to find. Okay, so we have a fairly thickened lemon layer. So we are going to put this in a bowl. I'm going to be using a stainless steel bowl because that also helps facilitate the cool down of our lemon curd. And we can see it's nice and thick and beautiful. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of plastic wrap and put it on the top, and that helps prevent the rubbery film from occurring. It can sometimes happen with a gelatinous product. So I'm just going to take my film and just kind of put it down inside onto it. Be careful because it is hot, just like so. Now I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let this chill while we're doing our other layers. So welcome to the second layer, because as we just completed our third layer, our lemon curd is relaxing in a chilled spa day inside my refrigerator. So now we're doing the second layer. Remember, our crust is the first layer, so this is the second layer. And for that, we need 8 ounces of cream cheese. And it's really important that your cream cheese be soft for this incorporation, because we want a nice, light, whipped texture. I have let mine sit out overnight, but definitely let it sit out. Of course, if you live in Florida and it's 101 degrees, it'll probably be room temperature in no time. But here in the Pacific Northwest, where it's just been raining, I left mine out all night long, so it's nice and soft. And I'm using the Philadelphia brand because I have found that it has the best macros, the fewest amount of carbs. So to our 8 ounces of cream cheese, we want a half a cup of powdered natural sweetener. Once again, I am using the monk fruit erythritol blend, but feel free to use whatever artificial or natural sweetener that you prefer in this step. And we're going to incorporate this very slowly because our natural sweetener kicks up. Okay, so you can see it's nice and smooth, and that really did help to let our cream cheese get very, very soft. So to that, we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of sour cream and the same amount of heavy whipping cream. And also, because this is a lemon dish, I'm going to be adding 2 teaspoons of lemon extract. I'm using the McCormick brand. It's just pure lemon extract. If you like it more lemony, you can add more. If you like it less lemony, you can add less. But I am adding 2 teaspoons. And then we're just going to whip this until it's light and fluffy. Okay, you can see it's nice and fluffy. Okay, I'm going to cover this and put it in the refrigerator while we are waiting for our lemon curd to finish chilling down and also for our crust to be completely cool, and then we will assemble our layers. So, before we start assembling our dessert, I am going to zest some fresh lemon peel to put on the top for decoration and garnish, and it will also add, of course, a little bit of lemon flavor. So if you've never zested, I have a microplane, and this is just a really inexpensive one. Mine's from Farberware. I've had it for a really long time. But in order to zest citrus fruit, you just go ahead and start, it's basically like grating, although you want to try and get just the peel and not the white pithy part, because it can be bitter. So you want to try and just get peel if you can. And a lot of it is coming off there on the back of my microplane. So there's some lemon zest for the top, and then I will probably also slice a few lemons just to make it pretty and fancy. So we are going to start assembling our lemon lush. So we have our completely cooled crust here, and our second layer is the lemon cheesecake layer that we made. I am just going to scoop that out and put it right in the center, and then I will spread it out. And we're just going to spread that evenly. This is our lemony cheesecake layer of our lemon lush. Okay, so our next layer, we are going to put down our lemon pudding lemon curd, and as you can see, it has set up quite well to a nice lemon gel, lemon pudding consistency. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to scrape it right into the center, and then I will spread it around, and you can see it's a nice lemon curd consistency. And it's very lemony. So I'm just going to start from the center and spread it out. So it is a nice, beautiful, lemony layer there. And hopefully you can see how beautiful that is. And then we are going to put on our fourth layer, which is just going to be a little bit of sweetened heavy cream, which I'm now going to mix up in a bowl. Then I'm going to put that on, and we're going to let this chill for about an hour. You can let it chill overnight, and you can actually make this up to 5 days ahead of time. So I'm going to make the sweetened whipped cream, and then we will put that later. We need about a half a cup of heavy cream. And we need about 3 tablespoons of sweetener. Powdered sweetener is what works best for when you whip whipped cream, because if not, it doesn't want to whip as well. And I also like to get started whipping before I add the artificial sweetener. Now, as an optional step, you can add about 1/4 teaspoon of your xanthan gum again, just to give your whipped cream just a tiny bit more thickness, so you can see what a tiny amount that is. And you just want to sprinkle it evenly like we did with our pudding mixture. Just sprinkle it lightly. And then I'm just going to keep mixing. You can see that it's very stiff, which is what we would like. So I'm going to spoon this on as our fourth layer, and I'm going to do exactly like I did with the others and put it right in the center and then spread it out. Trying to be as precise as I can so that we can keep the integrity of our layers because it's so pretty. Don't hurt yourself. Alright, that's not too bad. Not perfect, but pretty good. Alright, there she is, and I'm going to chill her for about an hour. Hi CJ.
Hi.
Tonight we are going to have some lemon Lush.
Lemon Lush, okay.
Yes, that is what it is called.
Looks good.
It's luscious and lemony.
I'll let you give you space because it's the star of the show.
You're the star of the show.
No, I'm just a taste tester dude.
You're my star.
All right, here we go. It's good. It's lemony. I can't say the word. It's got a good lemon flavor. I always like the crust.
Yes,
that you
it's
use.
your favorite.
I like it. It's good.
It'll be even better tomorrow.
Yeah, because we kind of rushed this.
Yes.
So that we could get everything.
It is actually better if you let it sit overnight.
Yeah, we kind of rushed this so that we could get everything done in one night. So
but it will be even more firm tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be a little bit more firm.
But it's really good.
And it also gives the tastes time to
Kind of meld together.
Yeah.
But it's good. I'm looking forward to having some more tomorrow. But it's really good. I think people will like this. And it didn't seem like it was that hard to make.
No, I have not done the lemon curd cooking part 4.
Yeah.
But it really was not difficult.
Yeah.
The hardest part is waiting for everything to get ready.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm not a very good waiter.
So, good job, baby. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us again tonight, you guys. We hope that you enjoyed the Lemon Lush as much as we are going to, even though our weather has not been very warm yet here in the Pacific Northwest. But here's hoping for July. So we would like you to please come back and see us again and stay tuned for more recipes. We usually release those on Sundays. We also have Keto Conversations on Wednesdays, and that's where we get together and discuss different ketogenic topics. Sometimes we have food unboxings. And we also have What We Eat on Keto a couple of times a month. So please come on back and join us for that. Be sure and hit the notification bell so that you know when we upload our new content. We are also on social media. We're on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, and that is CJsKetoKitchen.com. And also our blog is CJsKetoKitchen.com, and that's where all of our recipes are housed, and most of them are printable, and we also have all of our nutritional information there as well. So go ahead and head on over there for more recipe ideas. There will also be more recipe ideas coming up from the bottom of the screen and in the eye up at the top. If you would like to keep watching for some more delicious ideas, more delicious foods, we would like very much if you could stay. But until that time, we hope that you'll come back again, and we'll see you next time on CJ's Keto Kitchen. Bye.
Wow, you look hot.
This looks hot. I'm not even wearing leather.
Why do you have to wear leather to look hot?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Hi guys.